everybody, it's that time. Let me turn you up so hopefully you can hear me and I can hear you. It's Kate Richburg and welcome. We are live. My beadboard fell over there. We are live on Wednesday, May 22nd. It's a beautiful day here in sunny Fresno, California. I hope it's sunny where you are. Gosh, so many of you are jumping on already. So let me put actually my glasses on and see. We're going to explore the world of GemDuos and Cymbals. We just had a big launch yesterday. I've got them all sitting here for you, and we're going to go into them. I've got a fun project ready for you. At the end of the project, or at the end of the day today, I'm going to share some sneak peeks for what's happening when I'm gone for the next 3 broadcasts. Because a week from today, my friends, I will be in France and the retreat will have started. So I'm real excited about that. I'm so excited to get that going. So gosh, so many of you are here. My buddy Faye is here. Our beautiful birthday fairy in our group, in our Beadshop bead table group. It's great to have you here, Faye. Who was it? Let me go back a little bit. Lenny's saying that she loves the Cymbals and they've been a game changer for her. I agree. They're super fun. We're going to add some more into the line. So today I'm going to talk about the project that I made with them. And then Friday, we're going to continue this journey into the Cymbals. And I'm going to show you gluing. We have them for earrings, stuff like that. So I've got some more coming for you on Friday. Gosh, everybody, pardon me. Everybody's, pardon me, here, including Janice. I was going to try and put Janice up on the screen. Let me get a drink of water here. I'm so excited. I'm choking. Let's see who else is here. Looks like everyone. This is the place to be on Wednesdays for sure. It is so nice. So nice here. Let's see. All right. Well, let me also put up and tell you folks to remember to follow us on all the socials. Let me get my other camera in here so I can do that. You know, to find us on all of our socials here at Beadshop, on the Bead Table, on Instagram, Pinterest, hit that like, subscribe, and notification button on YouTube. Any questions, just go right over to Drea, hit that info@beadshop.com, shoot us an email, and we will be glad to take care of you. Let me now have some coffee before we get started. So stick around to the end today, my friends, because I've got some things to show you. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be doing the next 3 Wednesdays. I'm also going to show you what I'm going to be giving away the next 3 Wednesdays. And on one Free Tip Friday, Free Tip Fridays aren't going to happen except for one. I'm going to pre-record it. And you and I are going to make a project together like I'm making with my students in France. And I've got a special bead mix for you for that. So even though I'm not going to be live the whole time, we're going to be in contact. And I'm going to be sharing with Drea some of my adventures and things. So what you'll want to do, my friend, is subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss anything out on anything that's happening the beginning part of June, end of May, beginning part of June, including our new monthly mix, all that great stuff. So let's go ahead and let me solo this guy right here. And let's get this show on the road. Okay. You can see I've got my GemDuo piece right here. And let me show you some of the things that we've launched, and toss out the questions and everything, folks. I'm sorry, I'm really having trouble with my glasses. Isn't it? Don't you folks find that you clean your glasses? It's a never-ending quest. You clean your glasses and then they're sort of clean. I need to clean them one more time. Sorry, because I can't see. And if I'm not seeing, I can't do the project for you. Okay. Carolyn, that's a good question. I'll answer that while I'm finishing the great glasses clean. I kind of, like I do my clothes, I lay out all my jewelry. And I just kind of coordinate and I see what I want to take. I figure I try and curtail it a little bit. So I'll take a couple of necklaces, definitely an earring wardrobe or two, and a few bracelets that I'll wear. Any super fancy jewelry, right? I usually keep at home. But a definite neck mess and bracelet stack will be good. I'll take some photos and post them on the bead table so you folks can see what it is that I'm taking. How about that? That'll be fun. Okay, so let me show you what I've got here. Let me scoot in a little bit closer. I was standing up, but now I'm sitting down so we can chat a little bit. Let me talk to you about GemDuos and the size and how they compare kind of to super duos and stuff like that, right? These are the super duo earrings that I keep wearing. I think I'm going to bring these with me. I haven't put them aside yet because I wear them so often on these broadcasts, but I think I'm going to bring that one actually with me. So can you see, here's the GemDuos side by side with the super duos. So the GemDuos are a lot, can you see that difference there? The GemDuos are a lot larger. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Let me see if I can find I've got so many windows open that I can't find what I'm doing, usually before a broadcast. Usually before a broadcast, I try and close everything up. So so things make a little more sense. But I was communicating with Drea and Janice pre-show. That earring, it's Fleur. This, just so you know, if you wanted the info on it, this one's called Fleur right here. I love it. It was so fun, and I used the Cymbals in that one as well. And that cute little tiny super duo finding that's up there looks really great with it as well. Okay, so the GemDuos, it's the same kind of an idea as the super duo, except, like we said, it was larger. And it's a 2-hold bead, the top and the bottom. They are from tip to tip just under 3 millimeters. Leslie, I want you to use those buttons or at least play with them a little bit, right? Let me re-zero. Maybe that's my issue. Let's try that again. Tip to tip. Right there. Sorry, they're larger. I thought 3 millimeters was small. 8 millimeters here. Okay. And then across 5 millimeters. So they're a much bigger bead than this super duo. They have a nice flat back to them and a nice curved top to them. So they definitely have a front and a back, unlike super duos, which are just kind of front and back, right? It doesn't really matter. The thing that I noticed though, when I was working with the GemDuos and I was starting to create this bracelet, because I'm kind of on this bracelet kick with all of these shaped beads, is that especially on these beads, and these have a coating on them. The hole is a little bit bigger than the Super Duo hole. And a few of these, as I was working with them, had a hole that was plugged. Okay. Not the ones that didn't have coatings. Like I never found issues with like these guys, but these guys here had some plugged up holes. So these, let me dump all these out. These are all the colors that we just launched. We're doing a second color launch that's launching next Tuesday. So you'll see another grouping of colors. And then we launched a whole bunch of Cymbals findings. Okay, but let me pull up these. These are Czech glass here. This was the one that I had, not a lot, but it was the antique chrome. A few of them had the plugged holes. Okay. So these GemDuo ingredients, like Janice is saying, and you can find them here, and we're going to play around with it. The project will be up tomorrow or even later today, but Janice will list them to see what we're using. And you'll see those. They're all in the Just In. You can kind of decide which colors you like. And also, you guys, any of the out of stock Cymbals from the Super Duos, they're going to be back in later, early next week. They're making their way and should be put into stock soon. The backlit GemDuo, they do, Christy, and we saw some of those backlits, and we may grab some. The backlit is like a clear crystal over a really vivid color, so it almost looks like a light is coming through it. They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. Thanks, Leslie. I'm really pleased with this Tyla bracelet. I keep wearing it. So we're gonna talk about my wrist stack too in a little bit. But anyway, so we launched some of the metallics today. I'm kind of in love with these metallics. This black matte, the shiny jet, and the matte jet. This cappuccino, which is that same color as that cappuccino Super Duo that's right here. I use this turquoise nebula. This one here, which I love so much. This is the blue Picasso. So in this bracelet, let me pull them down here. I use this one, this, the matte black, and the chrome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I used 5. Okay. Let me pull these up to the top. So I used the turquoise green nebula. I used the turquoise blue Picasso. I used the coral red nebula, the matte jet, and the antique chrome. That's what I used for this bracelet. And all the findings are the silver. Okay. And so I used this replacement GemDuo, which I love. Let's take a look at some of the findings. I'll show you the findings. We're going to work with more of the findings on Friday. Okay. But I used this replacement one. And then for the closure, let me show you a few of the different closures, and then we'll get into the bracelet. I use, this is the Kalamos 3. This is the bead ending. And these had room for 3. I went 5 across, but we're going to talk about this in a second, right? And this one is also, this is the Vani 3. It's like the half of the, it's kind of like that up there. Okay, so we'll talk about both of these beginnings. We also have 4 endings, kind of like that little super duo ending we had here. We have this one. This is the Comia, and it is has a little, just a little, it's a GemDuo, but with a little loop on it. We also have the plain bead substitutes for the GemDuos. They look like this. Let me get these out of the way. Let me get these out of the way so I don't, we can just see what it is I'm working with right now. There we go. That makes it a little bit easier for you folks to see. There's that. There's this one. So these are the ones I'm using in the project, that and that. These are the others here that we're going to talk about, the plainer ones. Then we've got this bead topper, that Comia. I'll take one out so you can see it. This would be great. I'm going to play around with some earrings, right? And this is a great one. It has the loop kind of goes this way, or the holes kind of go this way. Then we've got the side beads. This is the Emborios. I'm going to use these a little bit more on Friday when we talk about earrings. There's this one. See, it's like a little triangle, like that. That's how it goes. There we go, like that. And then I'm going to be using these today. Some of the side beads. I think I just dropped one. I cannot afford to drop any of them. It's this side bead here, the Canava, right there. I'm going to be using those. I'm going to put those over there. And there's another side bead I'm going to be using. It's here. This one, the Mitakas, to fill in some of these sides. Okay. Then we've got this guy. This is a little finding, also great for a pendant. So this is a super duo, obviously, but I'm going to use them in a similar manner here, right? That little closure. Then we've got findings, and I'm going to talk about the findings and gluing and all of that stuff on Friday. Okay. And when you order these from us, we put the earring backs in with them. So you get a pair, plus you get a pair of earring backs. So see, we're going to talk about how we glue in. These are glue-ins for the super duos right there, right? Yeah, the names are all of Greek origin because these are all made in Greece. So my Greek is non-existent. So my pronunciation, therefore, is terrible. We've also got this 2-hole clasp. It's magnetic clasp. Very similar. We could also use it on something like this as well. But it's a really nice, sturdy clasp. And you can see there's a little nub there that goes right into there. So it's very nice. So I hope you like these. We're pretty pleased with the GemDuo. The quality of these, all of these cymbals are so, so gorgeous. Let me measure the clasp for you just so you've got an idea. Let me re-zero this. Everything's blooming here also in Fresno, so I might have a little bit of allergy issues. 22 millimeters about here, 22 and a half by about whatever this is, 11.3 right there. These earrings, and again, we'll play around with these more on Friday. We'll talk about gluing. 13.5 here. This one here, a little over 15 millimeter, right? Yeah, Jeanette, that's a real astute observation, and one that we kind of had for a while. Jeanette saying these are interesting. We haven't really looked at these much since I haven't been sure I want to start building a supply with another shaped bead. That was us as well. You know what I mean? I mean, here, we've got so many new bead shapes that come out, right? There's like, let me get myself up here, but a lot of different shapes, little paisley duos and pip beads and all of this stuff, right? And so we were all in on super duos, right? We love the super duos, but we just weren't really sure, to be honest. I wasn't really sure about GemDuos. I finally got a line sheet from our supplier that had all of the findings on them, right? And I looked at the findings and I thought, oh, those are actually pretty good. And I looked at like the clasps. I wanted something that was also fairly classic. Like, I don't want a lot of kooky shapes because they're cool, but I don't really incorporate them a lot, right? And so I wanted something that had a real classic look. So we looked at these long and hard and we decided to make the leap. And I hope you folks like them. They're not completely interchangeable with super duos, but they're similar enough that, I like the clean lines, the clean looks. And Kim, I agree with that as well. A lot of the Cymbals components have proven to work with things other than the seed bead shapes that they are made for. Our next round that we're looking, and Kim, I know that you commented on this before, the ones for the 8/0 and the 11/0 for seed beads, they're super helpful. And again, with the demise of our friends TierraCast over at TierraCast, there's a need for new endings and stuff like that. That would be great. I do have a lot of info about because I have the line sheet for the 8s and the 11s. I'd love to see maybe some of your samples if you'd like to share with them about how you'd use them. But I was pretty pleased to see those. So that's the thinking behind this line. We're also going to be launching a new shape of bead that works really well with our Kumihimo. And I'm going to be playing around with it with macrame. You're going to see it while I'm gone because I'm pre-recording it. It's the Magatamas. And I'll show you this at the end of the, I'll show you a tube at the end of the broadcast because they're going to launch. I've got a cool project for you that I'm filming. But again, we thought long and hard about a new shape, right? So the Magatamas are also coming. So I hope you'll like them and be able to integrate them into what you're using. Thanks, Jeanette. I appreciate that that input there. I too like the versatility of the findings, especially, I'll tell you, this ear wire. You can hang anything. Am I in the camera? Is my camera actually going? Let me see. I feel like it's frozen. Hang on a second. There I am. Hold on. I'm going to take that camera out and load it back in. I think it needs to catch up with me. Is it fine, JP? You can see it? Okay, good. Okay, I think mine is just lagging. Let me add it back to the stage here. So this one that has where we glue it in, you could use this for so much other than doing something with a GemDuo bracelet or a GemDuo earring with it. So anyway, I digress. Let me get to let me get to this. And Cindy, same. Let me address that real quick. You find the bracelet ends hard to work with. I don't know why, because they're supposed to be helpful, but I find that my bracelet ends get too long, and then I have to add a clasp onto the finding, adding more length. Same, let me tell you. So what I have here, and let me measure this, and I'm going to be using this as kind of my guideline. Here's the Tyla bracelet here, right? That's the one I made. And initially, when I made this, what you didn't see me do was remove about 4 or 5 rows on this. Okay. So I did have to make this shorter for me to actually wear it so it wouldn't be too long. So the actual beaded portion on this Tyla one, let me take this off. Let me put this in. I also realized that when you're connecting these ends and when you're doing these ends, and I'll show you on this one that I'm making over here, you really have to reinforce them. There's some work that you have to do with these. But the result is great. And I'll share some of the tips that I have with you, but it's very similar. What I'm going to do with these GemDuos is what I did with these Tylas. So this bracelet itself, this beaded portion, is about 5.5 inches. Once I add that clasp on plus the jump rings, I'm already up to 6 inches. Okay. And for me, my bracelet needs to come in at about 7.25 or so. Right. So what I did and what I'm doing for this GemDuo, I'm using our Rustico chain. I'm wire wrapping a little bauble on the end. And then however I stack this, if I'm stacking it with other things that where I need a little more room or I need it to go closer to my wrist, I'll go ahead and I'll be able to have it be adjustable. And I have found that is really the way to go for me. Let me take off this bangle. More about this bangle in a minute. This is the terrazzo bracelet that I made. But see how what I can do is I'm going to connect it. Come on. I'm going to connect it right here. It gives my wrist actually also a little more breathing room as well. So I don't have this heavy cuff sitting around my wrist. It has a little more movement and a little more malleability with the chain. So I kind of like it that way. So I think with all of this, to make this adjustable, I think it's the best way to use it, to be completely honest. And this Rustico, exactly, Cindy, you're picking up what I'm putting down. This Rustico plus the large swivel equals bracelet closure. Okay? That's kind of my default on all of these. Okay? So let's take a look now at the actual project that I'm doing. So here it is with the GemDuos. And it is the best chain. It is. There's no need for another. Well, that's not true, but Rustico is really perfect. Let me put this earring back in my ear so I don't lose it. Okay. So in choosing my colors, we talked a few weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, or who knows, yesterday, whatever day it was. We talked about Janice's pebbling projects, right? How she was doing her loomed projects with pebbling. And I kind of held that in my mind when I was choosing the colors here. Okay. So I wanted to change up the finish, matte or shiny. I wanted to add some Picasso. I wanted to add some chrome. I wanted to add some nebula. So it all had kind of an interesting pebbled finish to it. There is also no set pattern here. I just pick up the bead I feel like picking up. Okay, so that's it. You can use, and next week, I'll give you a quick flash of, we've got some really other great colors that are launching next week. These will come next Tuesday. But for now, you can choose from these. I thought about also doing just a bunch of the metallics. So, just decide. Then I chose the GemDuo that had the pattern on it, but we also have the smooth GemDuos, which would give it a completely different look, or you can get a bag of each and put them both in. I also used, in the closure, I used the long closure. It's this one. It is the, I cannot hold these names in my mind, so I need to find the baggie. Bear with me here a second. The baggie is, here we go. It's the Calamos is what I used, but you could also use this shorter one. This is the Vani 3. And see how they're shorter. So if you want less of a findings look, use this shorter one. I wanted the look of having more metal at the ends, so I chose this one. Okay. We're also going to use the side beads. Now, Drea, when we were looking at this project that I was working on, Drea asked a really good question. And she's like, girl, why are you doing this piece first and then coming back through and adding the side beads and stuff? And I was like, well, to be honest, the honest answer to that is because I don't know what I'm going to do on the edges yet, right? So like this Tyla bracelet, I did the Tyla first, then I did all of the edging here, right? I have no idea really, and you can see this length. I've got a little bit more to do. We'll complete that today. There's not much left. We'll complete it today, and then we'll talk about the sides. But then I'll figure out how many rows I have, how many of the endings I need. A lot of times, like with this bracelet, what I did was I started in the center and I worked my way out this way and this way. Also, it allows me, the holes in these are really, really big. So it allowed me to really reinforce this bracelet. The first pass, and when you make this Tyla bracelet, the first pass with this, the bracelet was super flimsy. And I'm like, this does not have enough weight to it, thread weight, right? This one I used KO. For another experiment, I used Fireline for this one. And I like them both. They both work. We'll see how the Fireline holds up. The Fireline is a little springier, so I'm having almost a little more trouble keeping everything tight. But I feel that once I go back and forth in here and put the side beads in and reinforce and all that kind of thing, it's going to be super solid. So we'll see what happens. Okay. That's why I'm experimenting. So you don't have to as much. So you can see here also, let me zoom in so you can see this. On one side of this bracelet, the two sides look a little bit different. Can you see here when I go from here across to this bead, how there's a thread bridge? It's kind of hard to see, but see it, it's right there. You can see it on my awl. On this side, there is no thread bridge, okay, just because the stitch, right? So what we're going to do, this thread bridge on this side is just going to kind of smush down when we put the edge bead in there, and it won't be seen. Okay, so don't worry. that you see thread in this first pass, don't worry about it. Okay. Cindy, this is great advice too. You don't know how you want to edge it. Plus, you can also, you can use a fresh thread, experiment with it. If you don't like it, you can take it out. And that's what I did with this one here. I actually used a fresh thread. I experimented. I settled on the closures that I wanted on this. And then I took out what I didn't like, and then I went forward. Okay. So let's focus then on this GemDuo one. I'm going to take the Tyler bracelet out of the shot, but we're going to, we'll probably need to refer to that. So the way that I started was I set this closure down and I started and I just put 2 in because I wanted to figure out how wide I wanted to make this piece. Whoops, that one's upside down. So you could make it at the widest point just 3, right? By keeping, when you start, keeping the the GemDuos, I'm going to do that a lot, keeping the GemDuos, the first row, smaller. But I wanted this to be a little wider, so I went, instead of 2 and 3 in the rows, I went with 5 to start, like that. Go there. And then 3 for the second row. Can you see that? Thanks, friends. I love this Tyler bracelet as well. I'm going to do another Tyler mix for you sometime. Making this Tyler mix was so fun. We're going to get some of these ends that are longer. We've got just the 2, but I think we're going to get the longer ones as well so we can make some wider bracelets. I'll do another Tyler mix. I know that you folks love this one so much, but I'll do a fresh one when we add the other findings. So this is just how I started it here. Okay. So let me show you how I started this. Okay. What I did was I threaded my needle. Let me grab a needle here. And again, I know I should have had one prepped for you, but I did not. Oh, I did have one prepped and I just pulled it out. Oh, well, that's all right. Let me thread that needle. Let me thread it with some fire line. Oh, and that's really good advice, Mel. It's kind of like when you do odd count peyote, I think. If you don't want to edge the design, you can avoid that by weaving in and back out to the new starting point. So again, yeah, it's kind of like the even and odd point peyote. Exactly. So you can kind of play around with that. Where are my thread snips? This will work. You really need, the Xuron thread snips are the thread snips of choice for my fire line. And I'm going to start this one and then we'll continue with that other one. Okay. So let's go ahead and needle this thread. What size fire line, you ask? This is 4 pound, I think. It's 4 pound fire line. There we go. I had to flatten the end. Sometimes if I flatten the end of the fire line, it goes right through that eye of the needle. Then I just have to grab onto it. There it goes. Let me zoom out a little. Well, let me get this out of the way. So basically, let me get this second row out of here. The way I started, and there may be a better way to do this because in all transparency, this is my first go around with GemDuos. So a lot of you, I think, probably have more experience with it than I do. But I laid these out, and then I just went through this first row like this one. Getting started on anything is always a little bit of a challenge, and this is also a little bit outside my focal range. So bear with me, friends, while I kind of stumble through this. But I kind of line this up because I know you've got to see, and I've got to line them up. There we go. Okay. So I'm like this, right? So now, let me use a different color for the second row. I'll add my second row. I'm going to come in. Now I need to be really careful not to pull my thread all the way through because I'm not using a stopper bead. Okay. And I want to leave a pretty long tail here. Okay. So this is about 6 inches or so. Now I'm going to pop down from this hole to this hole. And I'm going to just slide my GemDuo in where I need it. And you know, it's like putting together little pieces of a puzzle, right? Except you're making the puzzle up as it goes along. Okay. So yeah, it's such a neat and tidy finding. I agree, Mel. So let me pull this through. Now I'm going to reinforce it. So let me hold it in my hand. Let me isolate that starting thread in my little finger. Pull it through. Now I'm going to reinforce, because if I don't at this point, this is all going to come apart. Okay. So I'm going to come back through. And I'm going to go back through that top row. Let me make sure I've caught everything. Sorry, you might be hearing the garbage truck right outside. I'm going to just hold it in my hand because I can tell if I'm going through. See that way? Now I'm going to go through. I'm going to hold my starting thread right here so I don't pull it all the way through. Like that. Then I'm going to lay this down. There we go. So it's not tangled. Okay, good. Now I'm going to go back through one more time this second row right here. And then I'll be ready to go on to my third row later, and I'll show you on this other bracelet. So see, now I'm ready to pop down. This also looks really good with stripes, I think. Had I thought about that, maybe I would have done stripes instead of pebbling, but I love the way the pebbling looks too. But look at that. That's the next stripe row. Okay, then I would just pop down, go through this top row here, and then as I come back, I have to add that next row. So you're adding beads from the left and the right. Okay, you're doing this. Jeanette, you could do the double thread, but I feel like, especially if I'm going to come in and I'm going to add the side beads here, I'm worried about packing too much thread into the holes. You know, you could try it, totally try it and see what happens, right? So you can see here's my edge thread. And I thought I would keep it kind of long because I may use this for my edge beads and stuff like this. So Faye, I agree. This thread is making me crazy, but I want to have some options. So I'm leaving it there for now. I'm using a size 12 needle, and it's a long beading needle. It's not my favorite sharps needle, as usual, because I need to make sure, let me center that a little bit. I need to make sure that I have enough, that my needle's long enough. That's what I'm trying to say. Move those over there. There we go. All right. Cindy, you're saying you'd use 6-pound Fireline. Yeah, I probably would too. I think I have some 6-pound sitting over here. I do. I've got 6-pound. I've got it right here. And that actually may be what I used here, but I grabbed the 4-pound for the sample. So, for what I did there, but 6-pound is probably just a little bit better. Okay. So let's take a look at what we've got here. So I'm going to come in, I'm on a 5 bead row, or a 4 bead row rather, not 5. Get all of these in here. I've got all my little beads with the triangles. Donna also seconds 6-pound. Well, I will bow to your expertise and say, let's use 6-pound with it. And yeah, the size 12 needle is the way to go, because you want a needle that is flexible for sure. So let me put one of these in. I think it's time for a bead sub. So let's put that one in. You want to make sure that you catch everything. It's kind of hard for me to see. I might actually, after I go through this row, I might pick it up in my hands. Then what colors am I missing? Oh, this one, the nebula. It makes no difference what colors you're using. Let me pick this up. Then I'll go through. Then you kind of have to tighten. See, it's loose right there, right? So it's pulling back and pulling back. This one is sitting correctly here. Is that right? Yeah, it is. And then where did this last one go? Here it is. Cindy, that's good advice. I've got some wax right here. I love that I'm learning right on the fly. One can wax the 6-pound so it gives it a little extra tooth or grip. Let me do that. I've got my beeswax sitting right here. Let me wax it. Because these super duos definitely need a little, or these GemDuos rather, definitely need a little more grip. Okay, there we go. 6-pound, 4-pound, whatever, but wax it. Oh, look, now how I've bent my needle. Perfect. Well, it's just going to stay bent. Okay, so let me go back through. So again, with this row, I come in and let me just pull my beads so I know what I'm putting on. One of those, one of those, and one of those. So I go back through this one. Whoops, sorry, I'm out of the shot. So I'll go through that, stitch it through, pick up that GemDuo, and make sure you're picking it up on the correct side so that the front of the GemDuo is facing up. It does give it a little tooth. Come on, flip around, please. There it goes. Good tip. So I'll come in from that side of the GemDuo, go through the hole, put it through that hole. Oh, seeing these little tiny, and we carried the 6-pound for sure. We added the 6-pound in. So I believe we carry both 4 and 6 in both colors. Okay. Do we not carry 6? I think we do. I think we carry 6. Double check. Because I don't know why we'd have it otherwise. Oh, and look what happened here. Remember how I said that this hole is blocked? That hole's blocked. So I'm going to have to take it off. So let me go back. You might want to double check the chrome ones so you're not making this mistake. And you can't clear it. I tried clearing them and stuff. You could try reaming them, but you may actually break it. But see, there it is. You see that one's blocked. I just threw it away. I'm not going to ream it out. Yeah, we do carry 6. That's what I thought. I thought we did. Shoo. So let me put this one on. How am I doing on time? We're doing okay. Okay. And this one. Now I go through this and tighten it. Let me just check my holes here. I'm going to put a few on deck. So I just check them. I physically check them, not visually, so I don't have this issue. I also notice, since these are Czech glass, they're not quite as precise as some of the Japanese shapes and stuff. I did notice that there were a few in certain tubes, not in all of them, but there were a few that were misshapen. So all of these are good. So that's good. So just cast an eye over what it is you've been working on, right? Or the beads that you're choosing. Just double check to make sure that they don't have any misshapen ones in there. You do just a little visual. I know that my thread is off of your screen, but I needed to thread my needle. Okay. Let's put this one. I'm going to start picking this up in my hand. Now that you've seen me kind of do this, I'm going to pick it up so I can kind of literally pick up the pace a little bit more to get these done. And one of these. And what I do to make sure that I'm going through the right hole, I kind of set it down the way that I want it to sit. Then I go through, for me here, that top hole. And usually my beads are in the right order. So here's this one. Let me put another silver one on the end. These also have a front and a back. The texture is on the front, obviously. So this one goes on right here. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure. I'm going to zoom out just a touch. Whoops, that's in. There we go. You'll see a little bit better here what I'm doing. Okay, so let's go from that top hole, go down to this bottom hole. I'm just going to dump a few of these. Dump is such an unceremonious word, but so it'll make it faster for me to pick them up. I like working from a pile. I just do. So I know that this top, I need to come in from the opposite direction because I'm going in the opposite direction this time. So I've got to come at my bead from the left and stitch it in. Come at my bead from the left and stitch it in because I'm coming at my bead from the right, actually. not the left, but it's the opposite side of what I was doing before. It's kind of hard because I'm holding it in my hand. There's no real like up or down or right or left. There we go. From that side and down. Okay. Then I always kind of pull everything. I kind of pull on the row above it, and then kind of the row below it to kind of tighten in that stitch. There we go. And see, I've pulled everything nice and tight. Okay. So now I'm going to come in, since I'm starting, if I'm looking at it this way, I'm starting from the left. So I'm going to come at it from the left side through that bead, from the left through the bead, from the left and through the bead. And one final one from the left through the bead, back down through that same bead hole, sorry. And now I'm going to go from the right hand of the bead, opposite direction, from the right through the hole. We probably only have a couple more rows to go. I'm going to do one more row and then I'm going to measure. From the right and through, and from the right and through. Tighten everything down. Let me just hold it here. Where's my ending? Oh, I stitched it in. Let me get another ending. Got one right here. So I need about 3 more rows, and I want to end it on a 4 bead row. So I think I'll go 4 beads, 3 beads, and then 4 beads, and I'll be done. Okay. So, whoops, catching on my button ring. I'm going to take this off. Did any of you make button rings when I showed them? They were so fun. You're going to see a giant button trunk show or a studio drop when I'm gone. I get so excited thinking about the buttons, I'm not doing the stitch correctly. But I'll tell you, when we do our wrap up, I'll tell you about everything that's coming down the pike. You can mark your calendars. Drea's going to have it in the newsletter, so you won't miss anything. You'll hardly know that I'm done. My trip will be over in a flash. I hope it's not too much of a flash. I want to have a really good, fun, restful, and creative time. But I'm going to miss all y'all. But we'll keep in touch. As everyone says, we want to know how it's going from Fresno to France. I'm on day, I don't know how many days, 230 of my Duolingo. So we'll see. Janice is talking about how she's doing the pebbling. When Janice says, whoops, sorry, here it is. Yeah, I think we're going to do a show just on Janice and her pebbling, because that loomed bracelet is so good. That pebbled one. Do you ever look at something and go, what the heck am I doing next? That's where I am now. I got lost for 1 second, but I'm back. Donna, great question. I'm going to try and post some videos. Yes. I'm going to see what our internet limitations are, just with signal and stuff. So hopefully, because the house, La Cascade, does not have super strong Wi-Fi, but they're internet cafes and I've got lots of data. So I hopefully will be able to shoot some great video so you can see that. If not video, then we're going to definitely do some photo collages and stuff. So if you have not followed Beadshop's social, now is the time to do it. Follow my personal social at BeadKate as well. I'm going to post them in both places. Drea will have some in the newsletter. And so I'll stay in touch. There's going to be a lot of color inspiration for sure, because as you'll see, or as you may remember, my retreat is called Je rêve en couleur, which is I dream in color. So we're going to talk a lot about color and stuff while we're there. Okay. So this would make a 2-color Harlequin bracelet. It definitely would. What's that? Kismet, the Kismet bracelet. We were talking about Robert Goulet yesterday. So yes. Okay. And the pebbling handout Janice added to everybody. The handout is there. The handout's very good. So let's take a look. Yeah, this is close enough. Good. Okay. So let's go ahead and put this finding on the other side, shall we? Let me get these beads out of the way. This is pretty too without the red. Your handout is 12 pages. Does not surprise me, JP. Does not surprise me. So we're going to go ahead and put this through. Let me get a little closer. Yeah, I took a lot of French in high school and college, so hopefully it'll come back. I'm not too worried, and I've really been practicing. I've been practicing my vocabulary, though I'm going to practice a lot more vocabulary this week. We'll see. It'll get us there. I'll be able to find the train station. That's all I know. Then after we go, I'll tell you this. Some of you may be interested in knowing this. After we're in Albi at La Cascade and we finish our retreat week and all of the ladies learn a whole bunch of cool stuff and everything, Chris and I are going to Lourdes for a few days. It's very close. We're going to take the train. I've always wanted to go to Lourdes, so I'll tell you how it is. All right, so see, this is on. Oh, look, we got a big box. Chris just brought a big box in. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Then, so let me try and clear that up. It was a little bit. Okay. So see, you can see here, see how this likes to come off. So that's why I like to reweave, but we're going to do that. So this is woven in. So I've got to a thread here and I've got a thread here. So let's take a look. Yeah, we may redo the France trip. We may do it again next year if enough of you want to come. And then I'll have a really good idea of, everything. So we also may have another trip in the books next year. We don't know. We're playing around with some ideas. So stay tuned. All right, let's look at the side beads, shall we? We've got this one, this little flourish one that's called Mitakas. And this one that's kind of the straight across one. Let me get my tweezers because my fingers don't like to do it. This straight across one that looks like this. And does it have a top and bottom? Let me see if it does. It does. It has kind of a flattish bottom and a curved top. So see, those are how those look. Janice wants Italy. Faye wants Greece. Mel wants a cruise. Maybe. We'll decide. We can do anything we want. If you ladies support it, if you ladies come, and gents, not just ladies. Bead friends. If you come, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So let me see how many spots I have open. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the center. Okay. So I'm going to mark the center, that center and this with this plain bead, I guess. I'm just going to put it there. I won't turn it. Okay. That's the center. Okay. Then I will do, I think I'm just going to alternate because I want a little flourish on the sides. Right? And what I did, you know what I might do? Because here with the Tyla, remember how this one, when I put a lot of these metallic ones one against the other, I felt it was kind of a lot visually. These are a little heavier, so maybe it'll stand up to it. Let me just lay them out and see. Okay? You can help me decide. I'm going to skip each one. I really like that closure, this little V. I love how it dips. There's that one. And let me get the plain ones. Where did they go? Gosh, I've got like a table full of little endings and closures. And weren't they just here? Didn't I just have them in my hand? Here they are. Oy. Okay. So if I threw in and I did a metal on every ending instead of a seed bead ending. Let me turn it, see if I can. These don't like to turn. Come on, visually, I want to see you in there. Come on. I am the boss of you. There it goes. Yeah, I think that works. I think that works. That's the middle. Or maybe, bear with me here. I pulled these out. I pulled the drops. I just love the way these drops look. on the edge. Let me see what other color I have. That red is good. Yeah, putting an 11/0 black seed bead in that V. Let me see what I've got. I've got my 11/0 sitting right here. Here's the gunmetal. Let me see. Russell. Here's the black matte. Okay, let's take a look. I think I'm going to ditch. I think I'm not feeling these flat ones just for now. I love them, but I think I want to concentrate on these little V's. Let's see. We'll see what happens. Okay. Now then, get rid of that tile for a second. I'm going to get these red drops. This is the DP304. And this is the matte black, 11/0. Okay. So I'm just going to start at this edge. And I'm going to go back through because I want to go up. I want to start right here. Whoops, sorry. I want to start right here. So let me go through. Who's texting me? Here. There we go. Make sure I've caught them all. See, I didn't catch that one. Let me catch it. That's what I also found too when I was adding on the endings, that you really had to make sure that you were catching everything. And if it doesn't go like all the way, just have it, slide it through, and then poke your needle back through. That's what I'm going to do here. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. Okay. There we go. Okay, so this is where I'm starting. I'm going to start with a gunmetal, a drop, a gunmetal, and back down over here. Let's see, before I send the needle all the way, yeah, look at that on the end. Oh, yes, my friends. That, I think, looks great. So let me get this back. We need to do another one on its opposite side. Don't force the needle. Just do your stitches and slow bursts. It'll be all right. I'm trying to hurry and I'm just not. So now let me put this one. I need a gunmetal, a drop. These Miyuki drops are like my new favorite thing now. This was also a a shaped bead that we had to think long and hard about adding. You know what I mean? There we go. So now what I'm going to do, see how it's going through? I'm not going to go back through, though I could, right? Like I could go back through all of these. You decide what you want your thread path to be, right? And I think I did this on the Tylas. I go through, I go through, I go through, I go through here. Now, I'm going to go through here. And I'm going to go through, I could just go through the side and like back up here. But what I think I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go back through and I'll add the closure, the little dip on the other end. The first row is always a little funny. You'll get into your rhythm. It's almost easier to do these on the back because it's so flat, right? You can really see how this is going to sit. So let's go through. Come on. I've doubled my thread over. There we go. I want to pop out at this hole right here. So I'm just going to go in through this hole. Sorry, right there. And now I'm going to just come down and bring my needle through that one. And the thread's going to be hidden in between. So see, there we are. Now let's add our little V. So we do one of these. Let's add, I'm going to see how a picot looks in there. One of those, one of the gunmetal, one of the jet. Let's send it back through because see how wide the hole in this little V is pretty wide, right? So now I'm going to come back. Let me just pass through one or two beads and then we can check it. Yep, I like it. Let me zoom in a little closer. Let me focus. First focus. Zoom in tight. Come on. There we go. Can you see that? Do I need a little white piece of white? There we go. Can you see that right there? So I would alternate those going all the way down. Okay. So I'd come here. I'll just put on its mate right here. Okay, because I need to come out of this hole here. So which hole am I out of there? So I'm going to come through here. And then you can pop up anywhere. I'm going to pop up here. 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 But if you have this all planned out after you make one, you could probably add the sides as you go. But to be honest, I like coming in and doing this second pass because I feel like we talked about earlier, it does reinforce the bracelet itself. And I can't make a decision on what I want the sides to look like. I just can't until I actually have the bracelet portion done. Let me just go through this. Whoops. I didn't go through the hole in the little edge bead. Make sure you do that. There we go, and it goes through there. Yes, 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 my friends. Look at that. So let me zoom out. I'm going to mock all of this up so you can see it, and then I'll have it finished for the project map. But you can see, yeah, and I agree. The embellishment sides really make it look like something. It was the same thing with this Tyla. And I'll be honest, I think that this little drop, then the metal, then the drop, then the metal, it gives the eye a place to rest so that you're not seeing all metal down the sides. Though, I also think that these little, if we were just doing them plain or we were doing these flat ones like this all across the sides, that would also look good. So it just depends. I want you to just play around. And yeah, Jeanette, honestly, the thread bridge just gets pushed into the gap and you don't see it at all. So don't even worry about that. Okay. So let me lay this out. I'm going to stack up all of these beads here. Let me neaten everything up, and then I'll get out the Rustico chain and the closure. I've got it right here. So remember here, I did the picot, a little picot, one matte jet, one gunmetal, one matte jet, and then this is the Miyuki drop, and then the gunmetal on either side. Okay. Where is the Rustico chain and clasp that I was showing you from earlier? Didn't I just have it? Here it is. So I'll use a jump ring and I'll connect that jump ring with this chain. And then I'll get the clasp, and that will attach on the second side right there. And I'll wire wrap a little something there at the bottom, right? I could, you know what would look really cool at the end? I could just add with a jump ring one of those little guys. Doesn't even need to be, this is one of the little closures, one of the little findings. That would be super cute just to add that at the end. So that's it. That's all, that's how you finish it off. And again, this length, just so you can see, the bracelet itself is like 6 inches. So that's lots of length. And then you just add with this clasp and the jump ring, that's going to make it almost to 7. So I only need a few lengths, like about an inch or less of the Rustico right here. Okay. So that's that. So hopefully that was helpful for you folks. I'm going to leave that up and let me talk to you a little bit about what's coming up. Yes, I will zoom in on the V. Let me get in there kind of tight. Hang on. Let me zoom in one more time. So can you see? There's the V finding. Here's the thread bridge going across. That one's going flat. Here's the little V. So the thread bridge is down there. You don't see it. And here with the little drop, the thread bridge is down there. You don't see it. Okay? At all. So just ignore that thread bridge. You'll be fine. Okay? What briolette color? I think this is London Blue Topaz. I think that's what this is. My favorite briolette color, London Blue Topaz. Okay. All right. Let me zoom out. Let me talk to you a little bit about my schedule when I'm away. Thank you. A big shout out to my house sitters. So at least Alfie and the crew will not be alone when I'm gone. Chris and I, Alfred's just going to be, but they'll be fine. Lots of cat treats. Okay. So let me tell you, I'm going to clear this off because I want to show you some things. So today, if you're watching me live, it is Wednesday, May 22nd. Okay. We leave a week from yesterday and we'll be gone until the 15th of June. So there's lots of activities planned. Yeah, Alfred's in charge in this house. 100%. While I'm gone, I'm going to actually start with a special broadcast for you folks tomorrow. This is going to drop in the Beadshop studio. Do you folks remember this bangle I did a while back for the Great Bead Extravaganza, but I never officially did it on Beadshop? I'm going to be back tomorrow actually with a live, right? But I'm going to have a studio drop tonight at midnight. These bangles are going to drop. I've got about 50 of them. And I'm going to show you how to do this peyote stitch. I'm just going to do a quick little live tomorrow, show you how to do that. If you folks love them, I want to gauge the interest. If we sell out, then I'll order more so we have them. But I'm going to do this bracelet tomorrow. So we'll have those up tonight in Beadshop Studio. Plus a few other things are going to drop. It'll be really a fun one. I'll be in at 10:30 regular time. Quick little live. Show you how to do this, how to do the measurement, and they'll go live tonight, as I say, in the studio. Then, starting next week, let me bring up my calendar so you know what's shaken. Bear with me here just a moment while I pull that up. So, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so we've got our part 2 GemDuo drops that are going to drop next Tuesday. That's on the 28th. Then my pre-recorded broadcasts start on Wednesday, the 29th. The 29th, I've got a new wrap bracelet for you. June 5th, we've got the last masterclass on closures. And then the 12th, that's when I debut the Magatamas. The Magatamas are going to launch on June 11th. And then on the 12th, I have a great broadcast for you using these Magatamas. Okay. On the 7th is going to be the only free tip Friday that I'm going to do for you. This will all be in the newsletter, folks, so don't worry. On the 7th, I've got a drop for you. This is going to drop on the regular Beadshop site. This is a mix that I've called Brocante because we are going to a lot of the French brocantes, the French sales, tag sales, flea markets, whatever you call them. But in France, they're known as brocantes or grand vignes. They're or markets. But this is a market mix that I'm going to be doing. And along with my students in France, they're each getting one of these mixes, and we're making my tornado beads, which are here, which are so gorgeous. And we're going to be using those for the drops. These tornado beads also go on this leather cord. This is the violet. Can you see how great they look? So you will be able, I'll pre-record, I'm going to show you how to make these, and you'll be able to grab this same mix. that will be available on that Free Tip Friday is coming on June 7th. There are no Free Tip Fridays. I'll tell you, no Free Tip Friday. There is one on the 24th. We're going to do that one about all of the rest of the GemDuos and gluing. But there's no Free Tip Friday on the 31st of May. Free Tip Friday on the 7th. And there'll be no Free Tip Friday on the 14th because I come home on the 15th. But I'll be back with you live on the 19th with Emily's crocheted bangle that she's going to be doing. Okay. And then the third Thursday earring kit will drop that Thursday as well. Okay. I also will have studio drops while I'm gone. We're going to have 3 of them. And I have 3 great collections for you. Notice, though, everything that you order, all of the Beadshop studio stuff that you folks bought last weekend, the rest of it's shipping out today. The stuff, the bangles and everything, that'll all ship out before we go. But the 3 Beadshop studio drops that I'm doing, there's going to be one on the 30th, which is a Thursday, one on the 8th, which is a Saturday, and one on the 13th, which is also a Thursday. All of those will ship after I get back. They'll ship out the week of the 17th, and I will combine shipping. So just put it in your notes. If you do any of those orders, you want me to combine the shipping, just say so, and I will. Okay. So that's the story. Okay. I will be in touch. I will be there with you. So don't worry. There is going to be a button drop. I've got a whole bunch of buttons. They're sitting over there. So one of those drops are going to be buttons. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening, but stay tuned to the newsletter. Okay. The other thing that we're doing on the 3 live broadcasts, my friends, that on the Wednesday broadcasts, I'm going to give you a giveaway code. So if you make a purchase on those Wednesdays, we're going to do a drawing. And I promised I'd show you these. This is a little kit that I've put together for my retreat participants. You're also going to get a goodie bag. The 3 of you. So if you place an order, and it's going to be any order, it could be at regular Beadshop or Beadshop Studio, doesn't matter. But we've got 3 swag bag giveaways. One's going to be on Wednesday the 29th, one's going to be on Wednesday, June 5th, and one will be Wednesday, June 12th. We're going to give you a code or a phrase to put in the order notes. And after I get back at random, we'll pull the winners for those. But I wanted to share these with you because I thought it would be really fun to show you these. These are what you'll win. This is a book. My mom made everybody, each of my France participants, a notebook. So these are all hand done by my mom. And she put in, and I'm wearing one right here. Everybody gets a little brooch, I guess, a little lavender rhinestone brooch. So that's in there. Little spot for your notes and stuff, a notebook. And then here on the back is a nice little envelope for your things. So that's going to be in the giveaway. And look at this cute little charm. Then my students are also getting, and 3 lucky ones of you will be getting, I made everybody an imperial, a little bee embroidery, because I was going to put it on everybody's little toolkits like this, but I thought that people might want to put this on a tote or something like that as well. So it's going to have, it has a iron on the back. So I embroidered these on my machine, not by hand, right? And then you'll also get in your prize my participants are getting cute little tiny scissors because, that'll be fun. You'll get a little tape measure. And then our friends over at Eurotool, thank you to Eurotool. You're getting these tiny, because it's also hard to bring tools over. So everybody's getting a little tiny Weber's toolkit. So I'll be putting those together for you. So, and if you're coming to the bead retreat in San Juan Bautista, you're also getting one of those. So this will be fun. So these are all together. So I've got 3 of these. I made 3 of these extra for you. My mom made 3 extra notebooks for you. So we'll pull these, and again, the details will be in the newsletter, but those will be the giveaways when on the Wednesday broadcasts, okay, that are pre-recorded. And just as a reminder, those dates are Wednesday the 29th of May, Wednesday the 5th of June, and Wednesday the 12th of June. Those will all be pre-recorded. Don't miss those pre-records because you'll be able to get I'm going to tell you in the broadcast what the word is. You got to tune in to get the word to put into your order, as well as there might be some other extras and fun. Janice will be moderating. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun. So that's my story, my friends. I'll see you for one more on Friday. And don't worry, Cindy, we'll go over it again on Friday. Drea will have it in the newsletter as well. Okay, so don't worry. Make sure just open your newsletter, and it'll be fun. It'll be good times. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. So I hope you enjoyed the GemDuos. Go ahead, grab them. You're going to see the project up so you can duplicate that project. I can't wait to see what you make with them. And join me again on Friday, if you can, for gluing and working with earrings and stuff with all of the GemDuos. Whew, that was a lot, but it's all good. I'll see you folks on Friday the 24th. And thanks so much, my friends, as always, for joining us. If not for you folks out there supporting us, we wouldn't know what we'd do without you. Thanks so much, all. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.